Something I often stop and think about is, am I being the version of the mom I want to be? The one I imagined I'd be growing up, the one I still aspire to be, not in a perfect way, but in a present, grounded, trying my best kind of way. And I've realized it's not about doing more, it's about the small habits that shape how I show up every day. The truth is we only get one shot at this, and even though I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, we are in the trenches right now, kids waking up throughout the night, diaper changes, breastfeeding, big feelings, usually from my own. It's so easy to look back later in life and think, I wish I did things different, and judge ourselves, but the reality is I am doing the best I can with the resources I have and honestly, the mental capacity I have. But I can't lie and say there's definitely things I notice that I do that I don't love and I know I can improve on. And just with experience, you know, I've been a mom now for 5+ years, which is kind of crazy. And I've just kind of been learning as I go. You know, we're not taught this, we're not given, I mean, there are manuals, there's books and stuff, but you got to learn on the job. Like no one can fully explain or teach to you like what motherhood and parenthood is going to be like until you are deep in it and you figure it out, because it's either sink or swim at this point. They are little sponges absorbing everything, and we are literally creating the reality and the family that we want every single day, whether we're aware of it or not. I'm gonna share the 10 habits that have actually helped me become a better mom. When I learned that rushing around and trying to get everything done and just being like a chicken with their head chopped off is actually a trauma response, my life changed. The way I reacted to things, the way I did daily tasks, I was like, I'm rushing because I'm not comfortable with my body and my mind when I slow down. So what I thought was productive was actually just my nervous system in fight or flight. And slower doesn't mean lazy. It means you're doing things mindfully, intentionally. And I often find that when I'm not rushing and I'm just like being in the moment, that's when I find time slows down and I feel like I have more of it. And I actually just like feel like I'm living instead of just like, what did I do all day? Like it just feels like a blur. It's because you were like just going at like 1,000 miles a minute and not actually like paying attention to what you're doing. I find when I slow down, so do my kids. They mimic what I'm doing. If I'm running around, I actually will notice my 5-year-old be like, Mommy, stop rushing. Or if I try to rush her out the door, I will also catch her reminding me that we need to take our time and slow down, because she is literally repeating the things that I say to her that I think I'm being a good parent. Like I'm teaching her the skills that like really I should be taking my own advice and also not rushing when I'm trying to leave the house. So this is still something I'm definitely working on every single day, but slowing down, doing less, but doing things more intentionally and productive is my goal, especially coming into 2026. I'm so grateful that I get to work from home on my phone. Technology has given me so many positive things in my life, but I don't want the core memory of my kids to be me just on my phone working. I often find the moments I get most frustrated and overwhelmed as a mom is when I have my phone. I'm like trying to multitask and do something on my phone. My kids are asking for something, and then I may be snapping on them, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Is this a them problem, or is it a me problem, or is it a me with my phone problem? Because a lot of times I realize my phone is like the third wheel that like doesn't need to be there in that moment. Maybe I think I'm being productive and doing something quickly on my phone, like whatever it is. I'm like, does my phone need to be out right now in this moment, or would I be more productive on it like once my kids are either playing or not in the house or sleeping or napping, whatever it is? I just find I ask myself often, like, do I need my phone right now in this moment? Being on my phone all the time makes me more irritable, less patient. Dude, those are big. I'm gonna get you. Mommy Monster's gonna get you. Okay. We just got him down. That took so long. Took about 40 minutes to get him down. We are deep in a sleep regression. Okay, where were we? Phones. I know for me that when I'm feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, irritated, like just about to snap, I grab my phone, and it's like this form of a distraction that's not actually solving the problem. And I kind of think of it as like an artificial hit of dopamine, and I actually find it numbs you out a bit, and it kind of sucks the joy out of real life and connection. Like the more I'm on the phone, the more I'm doom scrolling, the more I'm reaching for it, the less I enjoy just like everyday life. These things, guys, they make them so they are so addicting. Like it just needs to be an extension of yourself. So instead of processing the emotions in the moment, I'm reaching my phone for like a mini escape. The difference of when I have my phone on me around the kids versus when it's put away is night and day. I'm more patient, I'm calm, I can listen better, attend to their needs. They have more access to me. They're gonna feel like the second most important person in the room if I'm just like scrolling on my phone like and I catch myself doing that sometimes. sometimes and I'm like, ick. And they're only little for so long. And like, I don't want half their childhood to be just me like doom scrolling on my phone. I'm very passionate about the phone because I hate it and I love it. There's so many positives to it, but also so many negatives. And we really need to find, especially as parents, navigating our kids going through this as well in a very different experience that we had. Like, I'm a millennial. I didn't have a smartphone when I grew up. I don't want my kids to be addicted to phones and have them at an early age. So I need to lead by example and not be on my phone all the time and show them how to be disciplined and have boundaries around technology like a smartphone. One of the biggest shifts I've made as a mom is just redefining what working out looks like to me and just giving myself like realistic, shorter workouts that are attainable and that I can just do no matter what. If I like didn't sleep that night or my kids are home, like it doesn't have to be all or nothing. And I used to think that like if my day didn't go exactly as planned, like, okay, screw it, I'm not gonna work out that day. Instead of looking at it as what are the workouts that I can do right now that fit my schedule with 2 little kids. I have been using the app Trainwell for a couple of years now for my strength training at home workouts. I love how flexible they are with my schedule. And unlike other things I've tried in the past that I just like cannot be consistent with, I've been able to be consistent with them no matter what season of life I'm in. And I love that they've been a longtime supporter of the channel and they're actually sponsoring today's video. I've had the same trainer, Catherine, since I first started, and she's now actually a mom of 2. When you're a mom, you just mom to mom, you just get it. When you sign up, you take a quick quiz and you'll actually be matched with a trainer based on your needs and goals. And then once you're matched up, you'll have an onboarding call. So you actually get to meet your trainer and you'll discuss things like your schedule, your lifestyle, any past injuries, limitations, like maybe you just had a baby and you want to let them know that. And if you do need to change up your trainer anytime, you can definitely do that if you don't feel like they're the right one for you. But you'll work on what your goals are and figure out a strength training plan for your specific needs. Trainwell focuses on strength training, which is so important for building muscle, protecting your joints, and supporting your body as you get older, and helping you feel strong in your everyday life, not just in your workout. I have 2 little kids, so being able to have the strength to run after them at the park, squat down and pick up their toys while carrying them in one arm, and just do everything I need to do in a day as a mom is more important than ever that I have my strength. And I do find that days I don't work out, I actually have less energy, I'm stiffer, more aches, and I just don't feel as great. Oh, these are really good for my back. One of my favorite parts about the app is that I can just open it up anytime and see an overview of what workouts I have scheduled for me. I can see a breakdown. I can see demo videos of how to do the exercises. So when I'm actually doing the video, it's like I have my trainer doing it with me. I can see the amount of reps. And when I actually have it playing, it talks to me and guides me through the entire workout start to finish. There's also a little chat section within the app that you can connect to your trainer, maybe tell them anything you want to change about your workout or if you want to increase the intensity, and also just talk about life. Like sometimes I'm just venting to Catherine and I'm like, we are busy this week, kids are not sleeping, or there's a sickness running through our house and I'm gonna have to skip this week's workout. You have them at your fingertips to connect with. The human accountability piece is huge to me because if someone isn't being on top of me, I'm most likely not gonna be consistent and actually do the workout. Oh, I think Oakley just woke up. Hi, buddy. Did you have a good sleep? You can take a quick quiz today and get matched with your own personal trainer. I'm gonna have a link down below for you guys to get 14 free days of personal training. Even when I only have 25 minutes to squeeze in a workout, they make it so easy to stay consistent and stick with my fitness goals. Okay, have some milky? Yeah, okay, I gotta go. No matter what you do, there's always gonna be someone on the opposite side saying like, no, that's wrong, do it this way, do it my way. Whether it's breastfeeding, sleep training, co-sleeping, how you feed your kids, you will always have people criticizing what you do as a mom. And here's the thing, and let's just talk about breastfeeding. So many people, so many opinions on that topic. You know, oh my God, they're too old to be breastfed. Those people aren't there when we are traveling, my kids are sick, or they're teething, and I have something that literally feels like it heals all available to them. And for them, it is like their source of comfort, nutrition, it helps with pain relief. So for me to listen to a stranger telling me that my 2-year-old is too old to be breastfed, they're not in my everyday life. Even if it's a close family member or friend telling you these opinions, you know, sometimes they're coming out of love and it's just from their own experiences and what they know, and they're putting those beliefs onto you of what they think is normal or right. But at the end of the day, your experience and your child and the way you want to parent is very unique, and it's going to be different to how someone else does it. Breastfeeding has been one of the best things I have ever done for my kids as a mom, and I'm just grateful I've been able to experience it. And I know I won't look back and say I regret stopping before I was ready, because you know, my little guy, he's 2, and like I'm probably gonna go to at least 2.5, but I don't know, like, will I go to 3? Like, I don't know. And I feel no pressure from anybody to stop earlier than I feel like we need to. And I know, like, yeah, previous self, I'd be like, why breastfeeding a 3-year-old? But like, he's such a baby. He's a baby. He's only 2. Like, I don't know, people think like they're like 13 when they're 3. I feel 100% better just as a human being when I take a small amount of time every single day to get myself put together. And not every day looks like a full shower and hair washing day, but if I can just even like tie back my hair, brush my teeth, put a little mascara on, a little lipstick, put on a cute but comfy outfit, I just feel like I can conquer the day. And the days that I'm hanging around in sloppy sweatpants all day, my hair is up in a messy bun, I just look a mess. Like, I catch myself in the mirror and I'm like, who's that? Like, I don't feel good, okay? I don't feel like 110%. I just feel like we easily lose ourselves when we become a parent. And yeah, like, not every day am I getting dressed and putting on makeup. Like, some days I'm like, I want no makeup days. I want cute, lounge, comfy clothes, and that's okay. But most days I actually want like 15 minutes to myself to get ready and just a little bit put together. That just makes such a huge difference. And I just see how it affects my mood and my behavior and stuff. Even the other day we were going out with the kids, I brought my makeup in the car, and while Matt was getting them in stroller, I literally just did like a 2-second makeup look, and I ended up running into someone. It was actually a viewer, and she wanted to take a photo, which was so sweet. And I was like, by the way, always, if you ever want to take a photo, it's not weird. I'm down for it. If anything, I'm the one that's like, do you want to take a photo? I just don't want to put you on the spot. But I was like, thank goodness. I mean, I was wearing a hat, but like, thank goodness I just looked a little bit put together, because I would have been like, oh my God, if I just looked so tired and like sloppy. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with like a no makeup, messy hair day, but like, if that's not what makes you feel your best, then like, let's have less of those. I used to create the longest to-do lists, and I would overwhelm myself and then feel like I failed because I didn't get nearly half of it done. And then I had to remind myself that, Nikole, you do not have the same hours in a day that you did pre-kids. And I know it seems like a basic thing, like, yeah, duh, but it's not. When you become a mom and you pass that like year mark with them, you feel like you need to get back to regular programming and do everything you did before becoming a mother. And the realization of this, I feel like, takes a little bit to settle in and like also come to terms with it. So instead of feeling like a failure every single day because you're not doing enough, nowadays I set like 2 to 3 priorities max that I want to get done that day. If I get more done, great. But I'm not gonna set myself up for failure so I can feel like crap at the end of the day, because I'll be like, what did I do today? What I did was I raised 2 children, and I kept them fed, I kept them alive, I put them down for bedtime, I played with them, I took care of myself. Like, those are the most important things that I did that day, and then anything on top of that is gravy. Our mental load is insane. The amount of things we have floating around in our brain. I gotta do this, gotta do this. Like, you got school stuff, you have work stuff, you have personal stuff, you got doctor appointments and dentist appointments to figure out what's for dinner, what's meal prepping, what groceries are we buying. Do you see how it adds up? So yeah, we are not doing that anymore. I realize that I just need to be okay with doing less, because I am doing more in other categories of my life. Funny enough, I did get myself like a planner this year and a little calendar, because I'm like, I'm gonna be so organized, and like, I really have not filled them out like I thought I was going to, but that's my goal. I do want to get back to it, and like I said, just keep it short and simple and sweet. But like, I don't know, I got caught up. This was so cute. They haven't been utilized because we've been having the kids full time without childcare here in Florida. We traded the snow, childcare, and school for none of those but sunshine. One of the biggest things that I feel like has made me a better mom is reducing screen time, and I feel like overall it's just created a better tone in our home. It kind of goes with the whole setting boundaries with the smartphone. This has changed the way I parent. I feel like I used to really rely on screen time, tablets, and just have that always with us as a backup, because like, God forbid that we were at a restaurant and the kids weren't sitting down quietly. But since reducing it, it has changed the behavior of our kids, how irritable they are. Their imagination has grown. Like, when people see Sage, they're having a sword fight as we are speaking. Our kids are less irritable, calmer. They also just, their imagination. Like, I'll see Sage like the way she plays, the way she interacts with her toys and stuff, versus when we would just plop her in front of the couch and TV and she would just like zone out on, especially like overstimulated shows too. We've totally taken those out. Definitely no to short form content. I think there should be like an age requirement to scroll on YouTube Shorts, TikToks, and Reels. I just don't think that's good for like a young growing mind. Even with the TV, I think it's good to create boundaries, and it forces you as a parent not to use that as a crutch. You will find your kids will probably have more quiet, independent play without it. Just be more resilient to being bored, finding things to do on their own. Our mornings are so much more calm when we don't have the TV going. And I'm not gonna lie, some days when the kids wake up so early, sometimes we put the TV on. It's not like all or nothing, guys. I'm not anti-TV entirely, but just a reduction I think is really important. And in my own life too, like Matt and I don't really watch a ton of TV at night. Sometimes we'll watch a show here and there together, but I've really limited how much TV I'm watching at the end of the day because I got a couple of short hours after they go to bed, and I want to make sure I take some time for me, maybe journal, maybe read a book, and just relax before I'm just like glued to the screen. Hopefully you could hear me. I know not every family lives off of schedules and routines, but I personally do, even though I'm not like an A-type, like schedule type of person in my real life. When it comes to being a mom, we're like those people that live by like the nap time and the bedtimes to a certain extent. Like I always say, I live by the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time we stick to the schedule because my kids thrive when they're getting their naps, when they're going to bed on time, when they're eating 3 wholesome, nourishing meals. That's when they feel their best. And it's easier for me to parent versus overtired, overstimulated, jacked up on sugar kids. Like, no thank you. Not for the majority of the time, but sometimes, sure. I'm all for having fun and being spontaneous, but for the most part, I like to stick to a schedule, and I think my kids enjoy it too. Like they thrive off knowing when to expect things. They know when food's coming. They know what's happening throughout the week. If she has different weekly activities going on after school, she knows like this is on Mondays, this is on Fridays. She also does like a split like regular school and forest school schedule, and those are always on the same days, so she also is aware about that. Like she is aware of routine and what is happening on each day, and she'll actually ask about it. And I also feel like it creates a sense of safety because they know what to expect and they can feel secure in knowing what their schedule is gonna be like, and it's not just like fly by the seat of your pants. And I know some people live by that and that works for them. It's just, I feel like that would make life so chaotic for me. And maybe some kids thrive well with that scenario. If my little guy skips his nap time, like he is for sure gonna wake up at like 5 in the morning. Same thing goes with like meal prepping. I like to rotate between a few different dinners that I know my kids are gonna like, and then I'll introduce some new ones. But then I'm not also having decision fatigue where I'm like, what's for dinner? It's like, let's do one of our go-tos. Or maybe I wanna try out this new recipe. Same thing with our grocery shopping. We try to automate things and we kind of just buy like our go-to basics. And you don't need to reinvent the wheel every single time. So I feel like having some structure and routine to your weekly schedule really makes things calmer and easier, and you're not like making it up as you go. It's funny because I used to never be a planner growing up, but when it comes to like me as a mom, I'm a planner. We're leaving the house, I'm packing snacks and water bottles and a change of clothes. We're gonna have a late night at grandma's or a friend's house. I'm gonna pack pajamas for both of them so they fall asleep in the car. We can just transfer them right into their bed and we don't have to change them and wake them up. Though that is how my brain works, and it just makes life so much easier as a mom. I was like, if something's difficult, I'm like, is there a hack to making this easier? I often catch myself saying things to Sage that I hear her then repeat later, and I realize like she learned that from me. And in the moment I thought, oh, I'm allowed to speak to her that way because like I'm her parent and like what I say goes, and like I can say these things, but I don't want you to say them. And like she takes everything literally. And I realized that if I say something in a way that can be twisted as like really kind of mean, I guess, like I'm trying to give an example. Like say I'm really busy and she keeps bugging me and I'm like trying to get some work done. I'm like, Sage, can you leave me alone right now? Mommy's trying to get some work done. You know, such a mom tone. And then I catch myself like, would I want her to repeat those words in that way to somebody else? Like to speak to a friend like that? Probably not. When I hear the words that I said coming out of my 5-year-old's mouth, I'm like, that like A, that sounds really rude, and B, like, I don't want her repeating that. And like, yes, like obviously we can teach them like, you can't say this, only mommy can say this. But like, really, we should be speaking in a way that we want them to mimic in the real world. Like, we shouldn't be using words or saying phrases that are inappropriate for our kids to repeat. You can still discipline and parent in a respectful way without saying things in a hurtful, like, way, I guess. It's hard to explain. I've just caught myself saying things in certain moments because they're just kind of like in the heat of the moment, I'll blurt it out and then I realize like, ugh. My rule of thumb is whatever I say to her, I'm like, how would I feel if she repeated that back? Not necessarily to me, because obviously there's things that out of, you know, I'm her parent, I'm her superior, like that she's not gonna say to me out of respect, but like, is she gonna repeat that out in the real world? And how do I feel about that? I really try to be mindful of the words and language I use. So I'm pretty big on not using negative talk about things. Like recently she'll say like the word hate. It's just a really intense word. So in my regular life, I try not to use hate. Like if I dislike something, I won't be like, oh, I hate when this happens, because then she's hearing me say that word and then she's using it in her vocabulary. So I really try to just adapt my verbiage, my vocabulary, and just swap out certain words that would be more favorable for her to use, or both my kids to use in their day-to-day life, because they are mimicking everything. I literally caught my 2-year-old repeating his dad saying a swear word for the first time, and I was like, see? They listen to everything. And I don't know about you, but I know for me, there's lots of things I can say in the heat of the moment. I'm frustrated, I'm overwhelmed, the kids are not listening. I'm like, just get your pajamas on, up to bed. I don't want to hear it. And, you know, there's definitely going to be cases like that, but I'm saying for the most part in our everyday life, like I try to be a little bit more aware of the language and words I'm using when I speak to my kids, or like even speaking to Matt, like what tone and words are we using with each other? And same thing, they're picking up on everything you are doing as a parent. Your kids are absorbing it like a sponge. I would have to say one of the biggest things I have done in my life that I feel like has made me a better mom is regulating my nervous system. Actually, before I even became a mom, and when my mental health was at its worst in like my mid-20s, I just thought, I knew I wanted to become a mom, and I just thought there was no way that I can be a mom feeling like this every day. Like, how can I even get pregnant? Like, how can I give birth? Like, I was a shell of a person. So I feel like I was forced to find tools and to deal with my mental health in that moment, outside of even becoming mom, just as like day-to-day living. Like it was so, everything was so overwhelming and I just felt lost. Traditional medication wasn't working for me. And so I was really forced to look elsewhere for tools and resources to learn about my nervous system, mental health, anxiety, and really find something that would work for me to help calm and regulate my nervous system. And like, honestly, it's been a journey and it still is a journey. But what I've realized that obviously there's been like big things that have happened that have changed the game for me, but also just like daily habits or things that I can just tweak when I'm feeling off have made such a difference. So having a self-care, mental health kind of routine that I really live by, because it's like saved my life. I always want to do like more content about it because I know I'm not alone, and sometimes people struggle more once they become a mom, but I actually feel like having kids has given me like purpose and reason to work on my mental health and be a stronger, like a mentally stronger person. Essentially, I do things like meditation, I journal, movement, whether I'm doing my strength training, workouts to train well, or going for a walk. Like those are so healing and they're releasing excess energy. I usually find when I am overwhelmed with my kids, overstimulated, maybe I'm snapping on them, raising my voice more than I want to, I often stop and reflect on myself and I'm like, are they really being that bad right now? Or am I just like not taking care of my needs first? And so really anything is going to set me off. Whether we're at home or on the go, I think about what are the things I need to feel my best. And my mental health is top priority, because if that isn't there, then I don't have anything. Like, I don't care about if I'm dressed cute or my makeup's done or if I worked out that day. If I don't feel mentally stable and good, like everything else is like, I actually love having these tools and learning more about mental health because I can then pass pass these on to my kids. If Sage is having a hard time or she can't calm herself down, I feel like I'm like, okay, I got it. This is what I've been training for. And I'm able to help her with the tools that I've learned. And then to see her be able to self-regulate using those tools is honestly one of the most incredible things as a mom. And so I used to think like, why do I feel like this? Why do I have this? And I feel like it's to help other people. And that might even be my own kids. Like, I feel like I am better equipped to deal with my kids if they also have similar feelings that I do. I hope they don't, but I also feel like maybe if I had these when I was younger, maybe it wouldn't have snowballed into what it did when I got older. We're gonna head out for a little family walk, get some fresh air, sunshine on our face. It's been so cold here, but usually between 3 and 4, it's like the warmest time of the day. So we're gonna get some fresh air, good for our mental health. And the kids will get some fresh air too, and everyone's gonna sleep really good tonight. So thank you so much again to Trainwell for sponsoring today's video. You guys can check them out down below. I'm gonna have a link for you to get 14 days free with your own personal trainer. I hope you guys try it out. If you're also struggling with staying on track with your fitness journey, I would definitely recommend checking them out. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.